Welcome, everyone. I think that's the first drum roll I've ever had, so I'm feeling I've aced tonight already. And actually, that was 2 drum rolls. I don't think anyone else gets 2. I'm Mags Bradbury. I'm Head of Social Responsibility and Civic Engagement for the university. Now, you're going to hear lots of amazing people here tonight, but really you want to just listen to me, because I have the very strategic role of providing health and safety advice for tonight. So, we have no planned fire alarm for tonight. If you hear the alarm, you'll be asked to leave immediately, and we will be instructed by our fire marshals. Now, this is a point that's really disappointing, because I wanted to do the air hostess, this, and this, but it's not. It's very much that direction, just so you're clear. There are none in this direction. Please turn your mobile phones to silent. However, we do have social media, and some of you might be interested. So we have the hashtag #MadAwards for you tonight to post. So if you're celebrating, having fun, wanting to recognise the people you're with, please go on social media. We also have bathrooms, which is exciting, and we have accessible toilets. They're just at the entrance to the hall, but once again, we've got lots of people. If you get lost, we'll help you out. The event is being filmed and live streamed on the university YouTube. So if you have friends and family at home, someone that couldn't watch, your kind of mum, dad, carers, they can go on and watch tonight and clap along at home. We also have a quiet space in the room F downstairs in the Whitworth corridor. Once again, we can have people show you to that room. If you just need a bit of time out, that space is there for you. We're always looking to make our awards more accessible. And I'd really like to thank Kathy Bradley and the ED&I team for all their work on helping with the Equality Impact Assessment for the event. I'm going to hand over to your host tonight, who needs very little introduction, but our Exec Director of Social Responsibility and Civic Engagement is going to look after you tonight. Julian, over to you.
Thank you, Mags, and good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. As Mags said, I'm Julian Skirm, and I've got the important task, I think, tonight to be your compere for the evening. And it's quite intimidating, I think, to do it this year, because you know that Manchester has had 2 major awards ceremonies, hasn't it, this year? It's had the Brits and the Mojos, big productions, big names, huge audiences. The Brits hosted by Jack Whitehall, the Mobos by India Pollock and Baba Suniki. Well, tonight we've lined up our own dream team for you. We've got Nalin Thacker, Duncan Ivison, Philippa Hurd, Nazir Afzal. So we've got some absolutely fantastic presenters, and please, I think you'll agree this is an equally strong lineup, yeah? Lots of amazing presenters as well, but of course there are the performers here, our shortlisted entrants. Now, these people are not usually on stage, are not usually in the limelight. But as you'll see tonight, they are out there tackling real challenges, improving lives, creating change, and undertaking a range of important roles in society that this university's social responsibility strategy really speaks to. I think it's a tougher gig than anything Harry Styles or Olivia Dean did at the Brits tonight, to be involved in working at this university. So there's one really important thing we did learn from the Brits, of course. They had a very effective way of dealing with people who go on too long or start to say something that perhaps they shouldn't. They simply, as you know, turned their microphones off mid-sentence. So in the interests of quality control, Nalin has introduced the same system here tonight. There's a big red button. We tried to get one that looked as much as possible like the one Homer Simpson is told never to press. It's a big red button, so thanks for showing them that. And if any remarks from our presenters fall below an acceptable standard, I am told we'll be immediately silenced. That's all the presenters, by the way. So we've been also told to avoid using anything resembling clever wordplay or unnecessary flourish. So if I suddenly disappear halfway through a sentence, oh, it does. Thanks. Thank you very much. So it does work, so thanks very much. If I do, that could happen at any given point. The system works. So this means now it's probably time to bring on a person with much higher clearance levels than I've got. Please welcome our Vice President for Social Responsibility, Nalin Thacker.
I need one of those red buttons for every meeting Julian's in. I'll tell you about it afterwards. Good evening, everyone, and very warm welcome to this year's Making a Difference Awards. Thank you for being here. I have to say this is very much my kind of room, full of people who don't just talk about making a difference, but actually get on and do it, quietly, persistently, and often without much fuss. Until tonight. You're allowed to make a fuss tonight. And tonight really matters, because it gives us a moment to pause, to celebrate, and perhaps most importantly, to remind ourselves that the collective impact of this university is far greater than the sum of its parts. Now, looking back over the past year, there's a huge amount we could talk about. But in the spirit of keeping to time, Julian, and avoiding somebody reaching for the red button, let me highlight just 3 things. First is our global impact. I want to reflect back on, and which you should all be incredibly proud of, is our continued leadership and success in the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. These rankings are an important measure of progress towards our Manchester 2035 goals. And in 2025, for the 3rd consecutive year, we were ranked top in the UK, top in Europe, and 2nd in the world for our contribution to 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I won't go through all the 17 goals because somebody might be tempted to reach for that red button on me. But just let me say that we remain the only university to appear in the global top 10 every single year since the ranking began 7 years ago in 2019. Now, those are, of course, impressive statistics, but what they really present is something much more important. Thousands of individual choices, actions, and commitments by people in this room and beyond, adding up to something that is genuinely transformative. Because no single team, no single initiative delivers that kind of impact. It's what happens when an entire university community, researchers, professional services, students, cultural institutions, all pull in the same direction. And if I'm honest, that's the bit that makes me most proud. Second, I want to talk about is our progress on sustainability. Last year, we talked about the ambition. This year, we've started to see that ambition materialize. Our new solar farm, spanning around 70 football pitches, the only reference to football this year, is now supplying roughly 2/3 of our electricity. It is the largest power purchase agreement of its kind in the sector. It represents the single biggest reduction in carbon emissions in our history. Or to put it another way, it's the equivalent of turning off emissions from 12,000 homes. And again, what I love about this story is not just about the infrastructure, it's about collaboration. Colleagues across the states, finance, legal, researchers and students, partners outside the universities, all coming together to make something complex actually happen. Because tackling climate change isn't about one brilliant idea. It's about lots of people doing difficult things well together. And third thing I want to talk about is our work on inclusion and cohesion. This in many ways is the most important of all. Across the university, we are continuing to build a community where people feel they belong and where they can thrive. Through our EDI 2035 framework, through our work as a University of Sanctuary, and through our partnerships right across Greater Manchester and beyond. From the Great Science Share, reaching young people globally, to community conversations here in our city, to the work of our cultural institutions, welcoming over 1 million visitors and creating space for dialogue, challenge, and connection. This is what social responsibility looks like in practice, not as an add-on, but as something that runs through everything we do. and it is also what makes Manchester, Manchester. So let me end where I began, with thanks. Thank you for what you do, for the energy, the care, the commitment you bring, for the difference you make, often without recognition, but always with impact. Tonight is about shining a light on that work, but I hope it's also a moment to reconnect with each other, with our shared purpose, and with the simple but powerful idea that universities can and should be forces for the good in the world. So please enjoy the evening, celebrate properly, and I look forward to hearing your stories. Thank you.
I'd now like to ask our President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Duncan Ivison, up to talk about and formally open the awards tonight and talk about the future of social responsibility. Duncan, thanks.
So this is rapidly becoming one of my favorite events. And, you know, you think of Julian and Nalan, and what else do you think about? Ant and Dec. Johnny Marr and Morrissey. Marx and Engels. But seriously, it's wonderful, wonderful to be here, and it is an important night. I said the other day, and I think I said last year, that the two most precious things a human being can give another human being is your love and your labor. And I think the room tonight is full of people who have given their love and their labor to so many of the things we're trying to accomplish as a university, including to our partners, to our students, to each other, and to the communities we serve. So it is a really special evening. It feels like a family event in the true sense of the term. There was just three things I wanted to touch on. The first is social responsibility is now really at the core of our strategy. It's a foundation. As you know, we divided our strategy conceptually into these ideas of foundations and leaps. And we were very intentional, you were very intentional as a community to put social responsibility in our foundations. And I think one of the biggest opportunities and challenges we're going to have over the next 10 years is really making that true, making that real, making that authentic, putting social responsibility at the heart of everything we do. And all that implies, including our commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, our commitment to widening participation, our commitment to inclusion and being a force for social cohesion at a time when there are so many things driving us apart. And as Julian said, you know, we also have ambitions for telling the world about our commitment. And we used to say we wanted to be in the top 2% of the universities of the world for the impact we have in relation to the SDGs. We're now saying we want to be in the top 1%. And that's the kind of trajectory I think we should aim for as a university. The second thing is that social responsibility is also at the heart of so much of what we want to do in our ambitions for our students, for our student experience, for teaching and learning, and especially in our commitment to partner-enabled learning, or whatever other phrase Jen Hallam and her team come up with, or perhaps you to call this, I think, one of the most exciting things we'll do. Our partners are at the heart of everything we need to do in our future, and our partner-enabled learning puts social responsibility at the heart of what our commitment will be to our students and what happens in our classrooms, but not just in our classrooms on this campus, but what happens in what I think of as the classrooms in our community, in the community centers, parks, businesses, community associations, hospitals, clinics, where our students and our colleagues do such extraordinary work. And we want to put that at the heart of our future, of our programs, and our offer as a University of Manchester. And then finally, social responsibility is at the heart of the other incredibly exciting thing we launched earlier, late last year, our first ever philanthropy and volunteering campaign. And what's been really interesting talking about the campaign and being able to launch the campaign in so many parts of the world, and not only here in Manchester, and we're off to the US and Canada on the weekend to do the same there, is this concept of challenge accepted. That's the that's the title we're rallying around, that despite how tough the world is, despite how hard things seem to be every day of the week, we as a community are accepting the challenge that the world is throwing at us and mobilizing our teaching and research to address that. And at the heart of that idea of our campaign is our commitment to social responsibility, is our commitment to harnessing the resources of the university to tackle those challenges, which so many of you do day in and day out. So it's unbelievably exciting to have that as a focus of our work over this next period. So thank you all for coming. Congratulations to all of the nominees, all of the winners. We'll have to put up with Julian's jokes for another 2 hours, but bear with us. It's always a good night. I'm really looking forward to learning more about all of you as the evening progresses. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Duncan and Alan. What a great way to start the evening. So we're ready now to start celebrating the amazing work of staff, our colleagues, of course, students, alumni and partners. So we have 9 award categories tonight, and for each, our guest presenters will announce the highly commended entries, followed by an overall winner. We'll also then see a short film for each winning project, highlighting the impact of their work and how it contributes to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. As well as the Making a Difference Awards, there'll also be 2 university medals for social responsibility, one for staff and one for alumni, which will be administered tonight as well. Now, a quick heads up, there's a bit of friendly competition again running through the night, and inspired by our From Manchester for the World strapline, the theme for this year's quiz is called From the World for Manchester. Each table should nominate a scribe. Duncan's first there again. I know he's very keen last year. He did really well. So it's friendly competition. As the band plays, your task is to guess the song, the artist, and the nation of each track. Now, a brief word of caution, though. If you happen to have political scientists at your table, I'm not looking at any table in particular, you may want to spend a moment agreeing the difference between a country and a nation. Otherwise, you could find yourselves having a very spirited debate and a surprisingly low score. So there'll also be a prize for a table with the highest score, but perhaps most important, you'll gain a strong sense of cultural and intellectual superiority over everyone else in the room. So good luck with that. And at the end, we'll collect in your answers, and we'll get in touch with you if you win. So it's now my pleasure to welcome our Chancellor to the stage to get the award started. So please give it up for Nazir Afzal, OBE.
Thank you very much, Julian. I can see the red button, so I'll keep it short. You mentioned the Brits and the Mobos. And some of you know that a couple of months ago, wearing a different hat, I was asked to investigate what happened to the BAFTAs. I presented my report to the board, the BAFTA board, which accepted every single one of my recommendations, so it won't happen again, but I'll never be invited to the BAFTAs. It's a real pleasure, therefore, to be able to present these awards. These awards are very important, as you all know. Social responsibility is dear to my heart. These awards are a highlight of my year because they celebrate something we don't see enough of in the world right now, and that's people quietly going about making a real difference without seeking a spotlight. And having seen the shortlist tonight, I can assure you that I'm really looking forward to hearing more about their work and unashamedly seeing you be spotlighted and placed center stage here tonight. And when you do come up and when you do win, your video will play, so stay up here. Some of you want to rush back to your tables. You'll have the opportunity later. And to all the winners and the highly commended, I'm incredibly proud of what you've done, what you continue to do, and I look forward to presenting the awards to you this evening. So that's all I'll say. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks very much, Nazir. Let's get started then. And we're going to begin with an award that couldn't be more important, recognizing outstanding contributions to environmental sustainability and a zero carbon future. So please welcome to the stage Julia Duncan, Head of Environmental Sustainability, and Jen O'Brien, Academic Lead for Sustainability, Teaching and Learning, to present this award.
Thanks, Julian, and hi, everybody. What an honour to be able to present the first awards of the evening, and I'm very looking forward to celebrating all the winners and hearing all the really inspiring stories tonight. So let's crack on with our first highly commended award. This recognises an initiative driving real environmental change in radiotherapy, cutting the carbon footprint of clinical practice, patient travel, and research activity. So huge congratulations to the Christie's Principal Clinical Scientist and Environmental Sustainability Lead in Radiotherapy, Rob Shooter. And our second highly commended award goes to a fantastic student project making sustainable travel easier and more affordable. So a big congratulations to Beco Bikes.
So what a privilege it is to announce the first winner of this evening, and particularly because we have winners that are both staff and students tonight. So our first winner of the night is a student-led initiative that grows organic produce using low-waste methods, donating fresh food to community groups across Manchester. So well done to, drum roll please, to Rootable.
Rootable is working towards sustainable food futures, really. They, on one hand, are teaching a large group of volunteers about sustainable and regenerative food production, and at the same time, they are producing large amounts of food which they distribute to food banks in Manchester. They're based in the Firs Botanical Gardens, and they work closely with the team there, and they have their own hutch where they grow all their food. Rootable are addressing two linked issues. The first is food security. As climate change progresses, the idea that our current food systems won't be able to keep up with the amount of production to feed everybody. And at the same time, existing food poverty in the UK. We know that there are hundreds of thousands of people in the UK in food poverty, and Rootable are actively contributing to kind of stop that in any way they can. So they grow food in their plot and deliver that to food banks in Manchester. Last summer, they worked with Emmeline's Pantry a charity who works with women to ensure they have access to a range of basic needs, including food. They produced 1 ton of food which they delivered to the pantry, working with children's bike deliveries to deliver the food to the pantry and making sure that as many people could access that as possible. Congratulations to everybody involved in Rootable on all the work you've done this year and last year.
So huge congratulations to Rootable. So the next winner is the staff winner in the category of Outstanding Contribution to Environmental Sustainability and a Zero Carbon Future. It has also been selected to receive the 2026 University Social Responsibility Medal for staff. So chosen by a panel of judges from our General Assembly, this nominee stood out for its strong evidence of a long-term impact and its potential to drive lasting change. The winner is the winner is a scheme reducing disposable cup use on campus through a free app-based reusable cup system. Drum roll, please. The winner is the B Cup team.
So in Manchester as a city, there's over 300,000 disposable cups used each day. On campus, we serve over 500,000 hot drinks each year, so there was a lot of work to do to tackle sustainability regarding this issue. So the B Cup scheme is a reusable cup scheme. It's really easy and free to use. So basically you tap out the cup when you go to get your hot drink, and then there's no charge unless you don't return the cup within 14 days. So when we launched this programme, there were a couple of issues. First, we had to have a really holistic solution, so we worked with partners like the Nugo and the SU. The B Cup scheme launched in October 2024. Since the scheme launch, we've had 85,000 checkouts, which is the equivalent of 7,500 kilograms of CO2. So a huge sustainable impact. Huge well done and congratulations to every single person who works on the B Cup team, but also everyone who uses it. That's what makes it a success.
Okay, our next award recognises outstanding benefit to society through research. This is work that turns knowledge into real-world impact. So please welcome to the stage Melissa Westwood, Associate Vice President for Research, and Lynn Bianchi, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility in the Faculty of Science and Engineering for Outstanding Benefit to Society through Research Award.
Evening, everybody. Great to be here yet again. Thanks for the invite. So the first highly commended award in this category goes to a project that is transforming dementia care through music therapy by creating meaningful moments and strengthening connections. Congratulations go to Professor John Keedy for Music in Mind, transforming dementia care through moments-based lens. Our next highly commended award goes to a group providing independent evidence and translating research into clear, policy-focused guidance to help shape the UK nuclear policy. So, congratulations go to the Dalton Nuclear Policy Group.
And now for the Emerging Impact winner. This goes to a project that empowers young people in informal settlements in Nairobi and Harare to drive urban change through co-produced research and community action. Congratulations go to Daniela Coco Beltrem, the SDI Zimbabwe Alliance and the SDI Kenya Alliance for intergenerational movement building for more just urban futures.
Africa's population is very youthful. Many of those young people are excluded both from the things they need materially in terms of jobs and homes, but they're also left out of social organisations. Slum Dwellers International, or SDI, has been seeking to ensure that young people are included in the work they do. This is a major urban social movement, but they've struggled with that. It's been difficult. Danny's work seeks to find new ways in which young people can be incorporated into this existing social movement of SDI. Danny has invested very heavily in co-producing and understanding about the challenges and obstacles that young people face in both Nairobi and Harare, and working with those young people to craft solutions to that exclusion. We already see that the federations, the SDI federations, understand the challenges that young people face differently. In the Kenyan context, because Danny started her work in Nairobi, we have a much stronger voice from those young people. They are now being included in more of the programs that the NGO is running. There's a support NGO, SDI Kenya. At the same time, and perhaps most critically, the Federation is thinking hard about how the representative processes, how the social movement can have more young people involved and can involve them differently. Danny, congratulations on everything you've done so far.
And now to the winning award. This goes to a project transforming psychosis care by shifting support from crisis response to proactive digital prevention. And the congratulations go to John Ainsworth, Sandra Bucci and Sean Lewis for Careloop.
The Careloop project is addressing the urgent need for improved care for people with psychosis. Typically, psychosis is a relapsing condition, and those relapses are quite unpredictable, leading to delays with people accessing the treatment that they need. The fantastic team tackled this issue by developing an app for people with psychosis. The app is designed to do two main things. Firstly, it provides real-time symptom monitoring that acts as an early warning system to predict when there's going to be a relapse. And secondly, it provides people with access to online digital CBT that they can use whenever and wherever they feel they need it. So the app has really revolutionised our approach to care for people with psychosis. It gives people far more control of their condition, and it really works. It's halved relapse rates in people who use it, and it's made a tremendous difference to their lives. I just want to say a huge congratulations to Sandra, Shone, John and the rest of the team on an amazing and transformative piece of work.
Amazing stuff. So our next awards recognise outstanding contribution to social and environmental impact through entrepreneurship. So to present these awards quite fittingly, please welcome John Holden, Vice President for Civic Engagement and Innovation, and Aileen Miller, Associate Vice President for Enterprise. Thank you very much.
So good evening, everybody. We are delighted to be here tonight to announce the winner and the highly commended in the Outstanding Contribution to Social and Environmental Impact through Entrepreneurship category. So the first highly commended award goes to a project translating complex research and international trade in environmental goods and services into clear, practical tools and guidance. Congratulations go to EGSTradeHub.org, global platform for inclusive, climate-aligned trade. Congratulations. So the second highly commended award goes to a project transforming graphene research into practical innovations by supporting startups that create environmental and social impact from clean water technologies to low-impact manufacturing. Well done to the Graphene Engineering Innovation Centre for accelerating impact-led graphene entrepreneurship.
Good evening, everybody. It's a real honour to be able to present this award tonight. Entrepreneurship is such an important route to impact for the university, and it's a key way that we get our ideas and our talent out into the real world at pace, at scale, with our partners. And there's no better example of that than the winner tonight. This is a project that's bringing together students from across Greater Manchester universities to build vital green skills by tackling real-world environmental challenges set by industry partners. Congratulations go to the Greater Manchester Civic University's Green Skills Working Group for the Green Skills Careers Mission.
So the aim of the Green Careers Mission is really to address one of the commitments of the Civic University Board Agreement, which is to foster green skills and enable our students to be leaders in the emerging green economy. So the mission brings together students from all of the 5 higher education institutions in Greater Manchester to work on challenges set by employers, all aligned to the GM 5-year environment plan. One of the highlights was the project demonstrated the unique role that universities have in transforming individuals, communities and societies for more sustainable futures, and to develop the green skills of our students and amplify the voice of young people across our city region. In addition, all of the projects have been showcased at the annual Greater Manchester Green Summit, which brings together businesses, communities, policy makers across the city region to really see the change that our students can make for a greener future. As the projects developed, the students have worked for different organisations on real-world challenges, and our next step is to really amplify these so the projects have a legacy throughout our city. Congratulations to everyone involved. It's been a genuine team effort and it's yielded real opportunities for our students.
Thanks, Aileen and John, for presenting those awards. The next awards recognise outstanding alumni contributions to social responsibility. So please welcome to the stage Nar Aqua, really pleased to have you back, Nar, Chair of the Alumni Association, and Dimitris Papadimitriou, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility in the Faculty of Humanities, to present this award.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for having me. Dimitri and I are really pleased to be here at the Making a Difference Awards to announce the alumni category. Every year I absolutely love reviewing the nominations, and these are some really, really special ones. The winner in this category will also be the recipient of the prestigious University Medal of Social Responsibility for an Alumnus Award. But first, let's hear from who our highly commended are. The first highly commended award in this category goes to a project keeping higher education accessible during conflict and disruption through an inclusive virtual classroom model. Congratulations to Zahir Ramadan for the inclusive metaverse classroom model for access and student success. Our second highly commended award goes to a project providing communication clubs for deaf children, giving them a safe and supportive place to learn and connect during school holidays. Congratulations to DICE, Deaf Inclusion and Communication Engagement. Unfortunately, Ryan Brewer cannot be with us this evening, so can we ask Molly Black and Rob Hughes to collect the award on Ryan's behalf?
So thank you. Now the winning award and recipient of the University Medal for Social Responsibility for an Alumnus goes to an initiative transforming support for young people and families through early communication programs and therapeutic outdoor sessions. So, congratulations go to Hannah Barton, MBE, for services to children and their families in Manchester.
Therapeutic Forest was founded by Hannah and Caspian with the aim of bringing therapeutic skills to the outdoors. In bringing therapy through the clinical psychology, speech and language therapy, occupational therapy strategies to the outdoors for many different groups, for children with additional needs, adults living with dementia, and a range of individuals. We're able to break down barriers to the outdoors, and one of the ways that we do this at the Therapeutic Forest is by training professionals to share in those therapeutic skills and bring it into their practice as forest school leaders mainly, but as outdoor practitioners, and be able to make an impact all over the country and all over the world, with more than 1,000 forest school leaders trained in our core therapeutic skills model. The impact that Hannah's work and the work at the Therapeutic Forest has had has been transformational for many families. Last year, Hannah was awarded an MBE for her services to children and families, and I think that just shows that over, sort of the last 15 years, the work that she's put in, largely behind the scenes, she's not somebody that you get to see up front a lot of the time, has really made a difference. And I think it's interesting to recognise her for that effort, because sometimes you don't see those people behind the scenes that put a lot of work in. Congratulations, Hannah. I'm so fortunate and proud to work with you. And I think the last, 6 years have been transformational for me as a person in being able to work with you and see your leadership and the impact that you've made. And I'm looking forward to many more years working together.
Congratulations, Hannah, and thanks, Na and Demetrius. Just watching that reminds me, we did a survey of 1,000 people across Greater Manchester, across all 10 authorities, and we asked them, what's the single biggest thing you value about the impact of the university? And their number one answer, the most popular thing, was the impact of our graduates, the education that we provide for our students and what people go on to do in wider society. And I think those awards, the highly commended and the winners, really exemplify that. So thank you. So a really amazing set of alumni winners. So we now move on to our next award category. And hopefully other people have a chance to get in with a quiz, because I've noticed one of our presenters, Lexi, has been very quick on the quiz here, so to give some other people a chance on the table. This category is around widening participation and student success. So to present this award, please welcome Lexi Baines, Union Affairs Officer, and Melissa Jacoby, Head of Access, Student Development and Success, to present this next award.
Hello everybody. Lexi and I were genuinely thrilled to be invited to present this award. It's a category very close to both of our hearts.
So I'm Lexi, I'm the Union Affairs Officer at the Students' Union. So by way of quick introduction, although when I wrote this I didn't realise there would be a red buzzer, so let's keep it brief. But I've been elected by students to represent students and work really closely with students and colleagues across the Students' Union, the university and other partners to ensure that every single student who does come to Manchester is best supported to learn, lead and succeed. And this is also my second year in the job and my final time at this awards because thanks to the 1994 Education Act, this is my final year. So if you've got any jobs going, please let me know. I'll be there by the bar at the back.
She comes highly recommended. So our first highly commended award for the Widening Access Student Success category goes to a project that uses creative community workshops to help young people from disadvantaged communities rebuild their confidence in maths. So congratulations to the very local maths team. Our second highly commended award this evening goes to a project supporting the UCAS personal statement reform by providing clear tools and guidance to help students, teachers and admission staff navigate the new system fairly. Congratulations, Tom Fryer, for supporting UCAS personal statement reform to widen participation.
So we have the winner next up, but before we go on to that, we thought that given the category we are presenting, we did want to reflect on what it is like to be a student in 2026 and the various challenges and opportunities that students face, because after all, it is quite literally our jobs to do so. So within the university, we have a really vast melting pot of intersectional identities, and we shouldn't homogenise our 45,975 students, and we should also celebrate this rather than try to simplify it. And our students come from so many different backgrounds, and it is their own personal experiences of being a student which makes this university what it is, and what happens inside the classroom is just as important as what happens outside of it. We know that students come from diverse backgrounds and circumstances, and that all of our students come from different starting points, and our responsibility as a university isn't just to open doors. While accessing university is one thing, succeeding at a university is a whole other. And we, the university, the Students' Union, and the University and Students' Union, and other partnerships must work in partnership to make sure that everyone succeeds while they're here, that everyone feels supported, that we work with students to help shape decisions, and make sure that no one falls through the cracks. So with all of that in mind, let's move on to celebrating our winner. So this award goes to an initiative improving the experience of commuter students through tailored support that strengthens belonging and boosts continuation. We know this is incredibly important given the unique experiences that commuter students have, and at our university this is a growing population, but just under 20% of students identifying as such. So, a huge well done to, this feels very Charlie the Chocolate Factory-like, the commuter student engagement team for transforming the commuter student experience at Manchester.
Across higher education, more and more students are commuting to their universities, yet much of the university experience is designed around the campus bubble, so the notion that students live on or near to their university campuses. This can mean that community students don't always have the same access to opportunities to engage in the full university experience and can affect their sense of belonging to our university community. Transforming the Commuter Student Experience project aims to amplify commuter student voices and to work collaboratively with services across the university to develop tailored and targeted support for this growing group of students. The goal is to enhance the commuter student experience and ensure commuter students have equitable access to opportunities and to increase their sense of belonging. One example of how this project is already making a difference is the opening of the university's first commuter student hub. The hub provides commuter students with a place and facilities on campus where they can go to work or relax in between classes and opportunities to meet with other commuter students from across the university. A huge thank you to the commuter student engagement team for all the work you're doing to enhance the experience of commuter students at our university.
Thanks very much, Bill. Thanks very much. So before our interval then, we're going to take the opportunity to celebrate and recognise a really significant milestone and achievement this year, which is the 20th anniversary, can you believe it, of our Manchester Access Programme being formed. And as we look forward a lot to 2035, it's interesting that this programme was a key part of the Manchester 2015 strategy, launched in 2004. And it came to life with our first entrance to the university in 2006. At this time, the university recognised a really difficult reality. Talented students from less advantaged backgrounds often faced significant barriers, not inability, of course, but in the social, educational, and financial capital to navigate a pathway into a research-intensive university like Manchester. So what did we do? Well, we created the Manchester Access Programme to help level that playing field somewhat, or perhaps iron out some of the bumps. And it pioneered a new civic commitment at that time to young people across our local communities in Greater Manchester. As the university's head of widening participation at that time, MAP has a very deep and personal resonance to me, and it's also really pleasing to see my former colleague Stephanie Lee come back tonight, because Stephanie and I had the privilege to lead on the work to implement this. And I know we don't look old enough, Stephanie, but it's hard to believe that we were there as very young professionals in the university at that time, trying to develop this new program, and it felt a really exciting, but also a really important thing to do at the time. And when we began this, it began with a pilot of around 100 sixth formers. Stephanie will have all the exact statistics, but it's amazing that that pilot study now, there's 750 students per cohort come over into the university. And I asked the team for some of the data and just try and take these figures in. Over the past 20 years, 8,536 students have completed the Manchester Access Programme. They're all local students, first in their family to go to university. 3,370 of them have progressed to this university, doing amazing degrees and doing amazing things with their lives afterwards. The remainder of those people have gone on, and we're really proud when students do this. They go on to do degrees at many other universities around the country and indeed around the world. So the scale of that achievement of all of those students is just incredible. But it's the personal stories, I think, behind the map that I find really powerful. So to bring this to life, let me now welcome Duncan back up and three really important guests, Ed, Amina and David, for a brief discussion about the Manchester Access Programme. So Duncan and our three guests, please.
Sit where you like. So thanks, Julian, and God, I hope I'm on this stage 20 years from now. Highly unlikely. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, actually. The lifespan of Vice-Chancellors is highly curtailed. So look, it's wonderful to have you here tonight. As Julian said, we've got someone who was in the first cohort, someone who's a current student, and someone who's been an incredible supporter of the program as well. So just briefly introduce yourselves and tell us which one you are.
Hi, I'm Ed, and I'm the current student. I'm only joking. I was first cohort. Sly.
Hi, I'm Amina, and I'm the current student.
Hi, I'm David, and I'm a supporter, and I would have been an Access student if it had existed when I was around.
Fantastic. So Ed, let me start with you. You took part in the first ever cohort of MAP in 2006, before going on to complete a degree in politics and international relations. So it's been 20 years, and you don't look a day older than when you first started, and you completed MAP, and now you're working in tech, right?
Marketing, yeah.
Marketing, yeah. So what, just looking back and being back on campus today and tonight, so what were the benefits of participating in MAP for you?
I think the benefits, the impact it's had for so long, really. You don't really realize it at the time, but so for example, when I went to school, went to college, I never did a presentation. The first time I ever did a presentation was the Manchester Access Programme. And that sort of gave me the confidence to then go into university, meet new people. I mean, I still don't really like presentations, but day to day, I have to do them pretty regularly. So that sort of experience and the you know, saying yes to sort of things you don't want to necessarily always do. So the confidence it built, yeah.
Yeah, and for students who are coming from first in family, going to university, I mean, what was it that MAP sort of, you mentioned getting used to giving a presentation. I often say that universities are we're often about implicit things. We don't make things very explicit, right? We just assume that people know how university works, and that's something, we're kind of implicit machines sometimes. But what did the program do for you to sort of reveal what the university could be for you, potentially?
That's a good question. I suppose I mean, really what it did is it set me up. You know, I went to University of Manchester. I did love my degree, but I probably loved my time at university a bit more than my academic side, if I'm honest. But I joined every club I could. I did a lot of sport, and I was a student ambassador, which is still one of my favourite jobs. So it just opened doors, and you know, I'm back here today, and yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah,
fantastic. So, Mina, now to you. You're a current student, third year medicine degree. Just tell us about your journey into the MAP program. How did you find yourself there?
Yeah, so I was part of the Gateways program from year 7 onwards. So every year I was able to come to Manchester and see the university, experience student life a little bit. And from somebody of my background, that was incredible. It planted the seed that I was more than where I came from, that I was actually capable of doing big, scary things. And then I went on to study at Rochdale Sixth Form, where, again, because of the hope that I had instilled in me, I was able to aim higher despite the challenges I faced throughout my time.
And, you know, talking about big, scary things, you're on your way to becoming a doctor. So when did the idea of medicine come into your head? Was it during the MAP program or after you left? What sparked that sort of passion for medicine?
In all honesty, I didn't think I'd ever go to med school, and whether that's just because of my background or what that was, I think that's something I just gained over time, if that made sense. But I think MAP definitely helped solidify, not only changing the trajectory of my life, but a lot of my best friends who otherwise wouldn't have ended up in the places that they are today, just because it gives you the confidence and it makes you feel like you do belong in these spaces that often feel so like out of the way and impossible at times.
Wonderful. So David, we've heard from Ed and Amina about the impact MAP has had. And, you know, as Julian said, there's 3,500 students who've come to us through the program. I mean, one thing I love about the program is that 8,000 students have done it, but we sort of release them into the wild and say, off you go. But we're delighted when people come and study with us. Now, you know, we support all the students who come here with the University Access Scholarship, which gives a financial award to MAP students for each year of their study, and that's a really important part of the program. So you've been a wonderful supporter of ours. What motivated you to support our work in this area? Why did you do it? Why have you been supporting us for so long?
Well, first, thanks for letting me come. It's been an emotional day at Wheat because it's triggered lots of memories. I was in this building 53 years ago to receive a degree. My family background was get to work at 15, 16, contribute to the family budget. University was not for people like us. I didn't think about it until I was 16 and the school said you go to university. I was a horrible brat to my parents for a while because they didn't want me to go. The headmaster, who didn't like me because he constantly told me I was a rebel without a cause, he phoned my parents and said, this boy must go to university. It was scary. I didn't know anything about it, and I was probably not ready for it. But I'd prepared for the question, so one thing in life is you should always read the exam question, yeah? And, so my challenge, you've heard about, uni scared me, excited me, expanded me, challenged one of the only two prejudices I allowed myself at the time, which was Manchester United fans and posh, clever people.
The two don't often mix. You know.
Sorry? Don't anybody lynch me afterwards. Physics, my parents didn't know what it was, so said, what are you going to do with it? But let me tell you, the scientific method introduced me to ethics, philosophy, introduced me to, if you want to understand the phenomenon, create a theory, then experiment and test it. And that applies to human behavior. It was a platform for the rest of my life, things I couldn't dream of. And just one thing to sum it up. I started as a bean counter because I knew bean counters were never poor. I ended up being a hospital chief executive, and it was the greatest job on the planet. I absolutely loved every second of it, with people, you know, who committed. Doesn't mean to say we're all competent, by the way, but the commitment was staggering. And this program is, so just a thought, the top 2% of earners and people in positions of influence in this country have remained at nearly 2% forever. That 2% come from the top 2% of earners. It means that they're distant from the lived experience of most people. Central initiatives are never going to tackle that. But this is a bottom-up initiative. It's widened since I got involved because you have to start stimulating young people at an early age so that they can prepare themselves and family. So for me, some of it, I want to put something, back. This is where I get emotional. But Mother Teresa said, we can do no great things, but we can do lots of small things with great love. And that's what I'm trying to do.
So thanks so much, David. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful message. So thank you, Ed, Amina, and David, for sharing your stories, and it's really brought the MAP program to life. I mean, just to add some more detail, and especially the collective nature of the program involves, in any given year, there's 165 academic tutors, 40 student ambassadors, 7 members of our dedicated professional services staff, and support from a range of whole other teams, and literally hundreds of donors like David who have contributed to our undergraduate access scholarship program. So it really is a community event. So what I'd like to do now, we have a very special moment. I'd like to invite all of the group of people here tonight associated with MAP to come up on stage. And Nazir is going to present a special Making a Difference Award for the 20 years of impact on MAP. So if you could all join us, and then we'll have the presentation of the award. Thanks so much.
Okay, so that brings us to the interval. It's time for a drink, a quick stretch, and to compare quiz answers with varying degrees of confidence. So please be back in your seats in 10 minutes. I make that 21 minutes past 7. You have a 10-minute break. Thanks very much. Okay. Okay. If we can start to make our way back to our seats, we're going to recommence in 1 minute. We'll recommence in 1 minute. Okay, I'm really sorry to draw these conversations to a close. We're going to get going again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Plenty of time to chat afterwards as well. Great to see the energy in the room. So welcome back, and I hope you had a chance to get a drink, stretch your legs, and for some of you, dramatically improve your quiz answers. There's some terrible answers in some parts of the room, I noticed, so yeah, but no cheating. So before we continue with tonight's awards, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our Volunteer of the Year Awards, which took place in this very hall on this very stage yesterday. And these awards celebrate student volunteering locally, nationally, and internationally, and the extraordinary contribution our students make way beyond their studies. This year we had 3 winners in the Students in the Community category, and winner of the Student Social Responsibility Medal was Drew Gallagher from the School of Biological Sciences for Osaka Park Run. In the Student Groups category, the winner was HIPPO, which stands for Helping Infants and Parents to Protect Their Oral Health. And in the Students Supporting Other Students category, Vio Dubé from the School of Social Sciences won for their work on the Manchester European Society. So huge congratulations to all who took part, and of course to our 3 outstanding winners. Please put your hands together for our student winners. Okay, our next awards recognise outstanding public engagement initiatives with several subcategories, 3 subcategories actually, to celebrate these. Please welcome to the stage Stephanie Snow, Academic Lead for Public Engagement with Research, and Omolade Allen, Academic Lead for Civic and Community Engagement and Involvement in the Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health.
Thank you, Julian. And in our opinion, this is one of the best categories of the night, so you're in for a real treat. We've got several subcategories. So Omolade is going to start with the highly commended awards for outstanding local, national and international engagement.
Thank you, sir. The first highly commended award in this subcategory goes to a project that used narrative therapy to co-develop a film installation with women from minorities in South Asian communities, amplifying their voices and experiences of health inequalities. Congratulations to the Tree of Life exhibit co-development team for the Tree of Life, How Exploring Diversity Can Create Unity. The next highly commended award goes to a project that transformed a neglected green space into a vibrant community park through the new trails, planting, and local engagement. Well done to David Bailey and friends of the Medlock Valley for rewarding our industrial past, the Lower Medley Valley. Our next highly commended award goes to a project supporting elective home-educated families by opening up university spaces for hands-on science activities. Congratulations to Sarah Jackson and Amanda Banks-Gantby for Curiosity Catalyst. And the first winning award in this category goes to a student-led outreach project bringing practical dental advice to expectant parents across Greater Manchester. Congratulations go to Helping Infants and Parents to Protect Oral Health HIPPO team.
When women are pregnant, there's lots of changes to the body, and that can also impact oral health, be it bleeding gums, changes in diet, increasing the risk of them getting problems. What a lot of women don't realise is that they're entitled to free NHS treatment through their year of pregnancy and the year of their child being born. So this problem helps to address giving oral health advice and support their child when they're born and getting their first tooth. So the HIPPO project, Helping Infants and Parents Protect Their Oral Health, is a student-led initiative where students go out into the community, be that at St Mary's or at Straw Start centres, where they're able to provide oral health advice, dietary advice, and discuss about common oral diseases that they might encounter during their pregnancy and for their future child. This project has been fantastic. So to date, over 750 parents have been involved and have been able to come to the sessions and have tailored oral health advice provided to them. It's not only supported the families and future children to come into our world, but also this partnered enabled learning for the students as well, providing them confidence to be able to provide that oral health advice and really demonstrate their leadership skills and their patient-facing role that they'll have in the future. I'd like to take this opportunity to say a massive congratulations for all the hard work that you've done. All the initiative and drive has been fantastic to see, and we really hope you continue in the field of paediatric dentistry. It'd be great to have some future colleagues.
The second winning award in this category is for a project co-created with residents in Upton Court to strengthen community life and support people to age well at home. Congratulations go to Hume Hannah's Invisibility Community and Urban Change.
The Hume Nanas project has been a co-production community project which has been focusing on health and well-being for older residents who live in Hopton Court, which is a high-rise building just in our neighbouring community in Hume. And the project has been exploring issues relating to social isolation and health and well-being. The kind of issues that the project has been focusing on relate to community. They also focus on experiences that older people face around the impact of the university on the doorstep of the community. So, for example, there's been lots of forms of redevelopment which are just next to Hopton Court, but don't necessarily cater for older residents who may face experiences relating to social isolation or feeling excluded from the wider community. So it's been amazing to witness this project unfolding and see the incredible relationships that have been built up among Niamh and Tina and the wider group of women. There's kind of two really important impacts I think that it's had. First of all, the group have managed to work with the housing provider in order to transform a vacant flat into a community space, which I hope will have a really amazing impact for the community. And also the arts-led workshops that the group put on led to an exhibition. The exhibition was housed at the university, and Tina and Niamh put on an amazing celebration where over 70 people came from the local community to celebrate the work that the Hume Nanas had put together. Massive congratulations to Niamh and Tina and Anthea and the rest of the Hume Nanas group.
So we're now moving on to the next category, which is outstanding contribution by our community and public contributors. The highly commended award goes to a project which embeds consent education and student safety into the first year experience through interactive workshops and proactive support. So congratulations go to the Active Communities Network for promoting student safety and healthy relationships. And now the winning award for outstanding contribution by our community public contributors. This goes to a project which is transforming postgraduate science education by embedding working alongside people with lived experience of illness into teaching. So congratulations. Go to Lindsay Brown for driving public involvement in teaching one step at a time.
One of the challenges of healthcare science education in general, particularly for our trainees and students, they're often working in behind the scenes, so maybe NHS clinical laboratories. What we try to do with this project, it's an ongoing thing for over 10 years, is try to embed the patient voice and the lived experience so that students can really feel that connection. So I think what Lindsay has done so well is making this piece of work so meaningful and sustainable. So she's worked with myself, other colleagues, academics, and also public contributors to create sessions that really connect the students and trainees to the patients, their lived experience, and also allows them to ask questions and also to be able to reflect and think about their future as healthcare scientists within the NHS. Lindsay's impact has been enormous. I believe that she's changed the attitudes of hundreds of students by providing more confidence, a better communication, and a better understanding of patient and public involvement and why it matters. Lindsay, on a personal level, I just want to say thank you for all your work that you've done for healthcare science. This nomination, along with all the other nominations, is well deserved, and congratulations.
So our final category in this part is outstanding contribution by our cultural institutions. And the highly commended award goes to an initiative which is strengthening connection across Manchester by bringing communities together through inclusive cultural celebrations. So congratulations go to the Manchester Museum team for Manchester Museum Celebrates. Okay, so we're on to our winner now of this subcategory. And this goes to a project that co-curated a powerful recovery-focused exhibition at the Whitworth, using lived experience to challenge stigma and expand inclusion. So congratulations. Go to Dominic Bilton, Victoria Hartley, Francine Hayfron, and Portraits of Recovery for Recoverist Curators exhibition.
Recovery's Curators is a collaborative project with our partners Portraits of Recovery to use the Whitworth collection as a tool to address stigma around addiction within society and kind of position it as a positive asset in the recovery community. Recovery's Curators is the UK's first exhibition that centres recovery rather than addiction and uses the Whitworth collection to tell stories of people's recovery experiences. It really addresses what it means to be in recovery and helps people understand it and challenge negative stigma. There's been a huge impact of this project, not only just at the Whitworth in terms of how we approach projects, how we view the recovery experiences and help inform how we programme, but also in the amount of visitors and the amount of people sharing positive responses to the exhibition. Huge congratulations to everyone involved, the Whitworth team, Dominic, Vicky and Fran, also our brilliant partners, Mark Preston, Portraits of Recovery, and not to mention the brilliant Recovery's Curators themselves. It's been an amazing project that's made a huge impact.
Some absolutely amazing projects there. Thank you very much, Omalade and Stephanie, for presenting those. So our next award recognises outstanding contributions to equality, diversity and inclusion. So please now welcome to the stage Rachel Cowan, Director of the Centre for Academic and Researcher Development and University Lead for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, and Sarah Fox, Executive Director of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, to present the next award.
Good evening. The first highly commended award in this category goes to a project challenging colonial legacies and co-creating equitable approaches to international research and teaching. Congratulations to Tony Hastrup, Megan Tinsley, and Andrea Zevnik for decolonial praxis. And the second highly commended award goes to a project bringing women together to build confidence in public speaking through supportive skills-focused sessions. Congratulations go to the Women's Speaking Club, Building Voice, Confidence and Visibility team.
Fantastic highly commended awards. But the winning award goes to an initiative that reimagined the traditional graduation to create an accessible and inclusive event for graduates and their families who may otherwise have been unable to attend. Drum roll, please. The winners are the Relaxed Graduation Ceremony team, a partnership with the Students' Union and Student and Academic Services for the Relaxed Graduation Ceremony.
This project was trying to create a sort of safe and accessible space for students to graduate. There's increasingly more and more disabled students being able to access university, and it seems only right that we are able to celebrate them in the same way at the end of their studies. The relaxed graduation ceremony, it was consulted with a lot of students about what they struggle with at graduation and what they require out of it, and so we created a calmer space. There was less students involved. So the ceremony was developed, it was pushed forward by the student exec officers, and then worked with students and the graduations team at the university. There was a lot of families and parents came up to us and were saying, you know, they were so thankful that their child got the opportunity to celebrate in the same way as other students. So it's going to repeat again this summer, and we're hoping to bring it into the winter graduations and offer more ceremonies so that more students can be involved. Congratulations to everyone who's worked on the project. It's been amazing. I've loved being involved, and yeah, thank you so much for providing this opportunity for students.
Thanks, Rachel, and thanks, Sarah. So our penultimate award for the evening recognises outstanding teaching innovation in social responsibility, which will be presented by Jen Hallam, our Vice President for Teaching, Learning and Students, and Natalie Gardner, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility in FBMH, our Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Julian. Good evening, everyone. Jen and I are absolutely delighted and honoured to be presenting this award today. So the first highly commended award goes to a project embedding social responsibility into medical training by enabling students to teach vaping awareness in local primary schools. So congratulations go to Rebecca Marks and Dr. Eleanor Barmer for student-led vaping awareness PSHE lessons in primary school. Congratulations. And the next highly commended award is going to a project that's transforming cancer education through flexible online learning that bridges cutting-edge science and clinical practice for professionals around the world. So well done to the Transformative Oncology Design, Development and Delivery team for Transformative Oncology, transforming cancer outcomes through education. Congratulations.
So I'm delighted to announce that the winner of this category is a project that empowers pharmacy students to lead cancer awareness conversations with the public by embedding service learning into their teaching. So our congratulations go to Sarah Knighton and Harsha Palmer for Be Aware, Be Empowered.
Be Aware, Be Empowered initiative was there to help students understand the lived experience of cancer, increase empathy and understanding there, and also Greater Manchester has a really strong unmet need for early detection and working with patients in that area, so we provided that opportunity as well. So the project tackles this issue by a co-creation method, so working alongside Greater Manchester Cancer Alliance, who facilitated this, patients with lived experience and the students co-creating materials that we could re-deliver to over 250 people to help understand early detection of cancer and improve outcomes. This has made a difference. It's reached over 250 people with this early detection approach that was co-created. It's really increased our students' understanding and empathy of what cancer feels like to have, because we had 7 lived experience partners who helped us with this. And overall, it's really helped enhance their communication skills. So I just want to say congratulations for a really excellent initiative in an area that's really got an unmet need. So congratulations to Sarah and Harsha.
So we're now on to our final award for the evening, and this is for Outstanding Professional Services for Social Responsibility. So please welcome up Patrick Hackett, Registrar, Secretary and Chief Operating Officer, and who, as my boss, doesn't need a red button, just a well-timed stare, Patrick, and Fiona Devine, Vice President and Dean in the Faculty of Humanities. Please come up to the stage.
So hello everyone, it's really great to be here and to announce this last award. So the highly commended award in this professional services category goes to an initiative providing a supportive space and proactive health support for colleagues navigating menopause and perimenopause. So congratulations go to the School of Social Sciences Social Responsibility team for SOS Menopause, supporting a menopause-friendly workplace. Congratulations.
Did you get that one, Ben? Good. Good evening, everybody, and now for the winning award. This goes to a project that has transformed accessibility and inclusion at the Martin Harris Centre through relaxed performances, community outreach, and creative partnerships. Our congratulations goes to Alex Shaw for the Martin Harris Centre Breaking Barriers.
The Martin Harris Centre is a real hidden gem on our campus. It's a beautiful theatre and music hall where there's a whole range of brilliant events going on. And Alex has identified this opportunity for those events to be more welcoming and accessible to people with a wide range of different needs. Alex and the team at the Martin Harris Centre have worked really hard to introduce inclusive events that are welcoming to everyone, such as the relaxed performances that happen twice a year. So that's involved things such as British Sign Language interpretation at events, and also training for staff to recognise how best to support people who are living with dementia or invisible disabilities. The atmosphere at these events is absolutely wonderful. I think it's really amazing to see such a diverse and inclusive audience come together. And the best way to understand the impact that this project has had is to just come along and see for yourself. The events are free and open to all. I'd absolutely recommend checking them out. A huge well done to Alex and the team for everything you do to make the Martin Harris Centre such a fantastic, welcoming and inclusive venue.
So that brings us towards the end of the awards for this evening. What an incredible set of achievements we've been celebrating. So it's now my pleasure to invite Philippa Hurd, Chair of our board, to come up and offer some closing reflections. So welcome, Philippa.
Good evening, everyone. One of the challenges of going last is you start to get quite nervous, because I've been listening to everyone all evening. So I'll try and contain my nerves. It's been so good to be here this evening with everyone. As chair of the board, I have the privilege of seeing the university from lots of different angles, quite often through papers and strategy sessions and performance dashboards and risk registers, and it's a big place, as we know. Lexi mentioned the 46 nearly 1,000 students. There are 13,000 staff. That's 6% of the total workforce of the city of Manchester. So it's a big old place, and we spend nigh on £1.4 billion a year. And the board, as well as looking at dashboards, we talk about the kind of profoundly personal stuff, belonging as a young person in our atomized world, how to support the patient building blocks of research and deliverability and the impact of new systems on students and staff. And when I talk about that work to people, I say that in a world where the arc of the universe doesn't always feel like it bends towards justice sometimes, working with and supporting the university is choosing hope. And then I think that sounds rather grandiose, and I worry that it does. And then we come to evenings like tonight, and it doesn't feel so grandiose, actually. We've travelled from Nairobi to the River Medlock, from classrooms and clinics, community centres and the concert hall, which is a wonderful place. And the work we've seen tonight shows the sheer reach of what social responsibility at Manchester really means for staff and for students. We've seen students redesign the experience of commuting to university so that belonging, that elusive challenge, is built, not assumed. We've seen dental health students taking practical knowledge into communities, supporting parents and infants at those critical moments. And we've seen extraordinary student volunteers, including our Volunteers of the Year, giving their time and skills and energy in ways that really do change things. So the hope is created by the 46,000 students and the impact they will have on our world, by the staff patiently building layer upon layer of new knowledge, and by the certainty that what we do with our knowledge matters as much as the work we do to advance it. That makes this a very special place. The projects and the people we've celebrated tonight reminded me that universities are at their best when we listen as well as lead, when we act locally and think globally, and when we use our power not to succeed just, but also to serve. And we saw so many examples of success through service tonight. Challenge accepted. I think there's a badge for everyone on the tables. Our new fundraising and volunteering campaign is absolutely what that looks like in practice, and it was so good to hear from you, David, about the work you do with the Access Scheme. We've seen colleagues and students and alumni and partners take steps forward with a shared sense of responsibility for tackling those challenges that matter. And the collective willingness to say, challenge accepted, is one of this university's greatest strengths. And it's a habit for life that is critically developed here. Before I say one final congratulations to our nominees and our winners, I want to say a big thank you to all those who've made this evening happen. I know Julian will talk through more detail and tell us a little bit more about that. But we're grateful for all the people who make this evening happen. And I do know that I think tonight is the last time I will eat a meal overseen by Adam. Are you here, Adam? So I think we should just give him a bit of a round of applause. I can't see him, but I'm sure he's here. And I promise, Adam, I'm going to bring a board meeting to Jodrell Bank, just to make sure that I see you again. There is a palpable and justified collective pride here tonight. To all our finalists, our winners, and everyone whose work sits behind these stories, on behalf of the board, let me say how very proud we are of you and how confident we are of the future that you will create. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
So thank you. That's the end of the evening. And amazingly, the red button has remained untouched, which either says a lot about the quality of the presenters or something about Nalin's extraordinary self-restraint. So thank you, Nalin. Let me just offer some final appreciation then to people who've made tonight happen. So a big thank you to our colleagues in media services. Before tonight, I didn't know. I knew they were going to debut this new gimbal, I think they call it. Is that what it's called? Gimbal? So yeah, and you stopped them crashing into various places. But I didn't know that they were going to stream this live. They've never done that before. They've done it for the first time tonight. And it looked amazing. So big thanks to Andrew and his team in media services. As well as Adam, who's an amazing person. Thanks to all of the Food on Campus team for keeping us well fed and watered. To campus safety and security for making our event safe tonight. Thanks to Eastern Bloc for the fantastic films that they made celebrating our winners. And also to our photographer, Jill Jennings, for capturing the evening. Thanks to local social enterprise, Hume Garden Centre, for the beautiful table arrangements. They're designed to be reused, so please feel free to bargain over these on your tables at the end of the night. And let's have a big round of applause for Funked It Up for providing the soundtracks from around the world. A huge thank you to my team in the Office for Social Responsibility. None of this happens without them. To Imogen for getting you all here tonight, to Mags and Grace for supporting the content and stage management, for Deanne for keeping everything running smoothly there just in the corner, and to Danny for bringing the night to life on social media. But last, but definitely not least, can I ask you to put your hands together for the person who oversees the awards and makes them possible, and who could run the Brits, I think, with her eyes shut. Please give it up for Lisa Govey, please. If you've received an award or certificate, please now join us on stage with Nazir, with Philippa, with Duncan and with Nalin for a group photo. We'd love to capture the moment properly. And let me finish by saying that if tonight has shown us anything, and it sounds trite to say this, but it's so true, of course, our university's greatest strength is our people, isn't it? And we've celebrated your success tonight, but I also think we've been reminded of what more we can do to continue to achieve with the sort of collective spirit we've seen in the room tonight. So genuine thanks for all of your contributions to our students, to our colleagues, to our alumni, and to our public contributors. Real thank you for what you do. You do some amazing work. So have a wonderful evening and good night. And we'll finish with a track. We've been around the world. We're going to come back to Manchester, and it's in recognition of somebody that's no longer with us, a very important Manchester musician, which I'm sure you'll recognize in a moment. Thank you very much and good night.